I'll start us off.
Then we boogie.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another live with me, Leslyn Keith, and another speaker who's going to be at our event coming up in April 12, 13, and 14 in virtually. So I'm Leslyn Keith. I'm the president of the board and director of research for the Lipedema Project. And I'm heavily involved in our event that's coming up. I was instrumental in putting together the program and getting people like Blanche to present for us, to talk with us. And so Blanche is here with me today to talk about what she's going to be doing at the event, which is a couple of really key things. One of which, Blanche, you're going to be on the patient panel. So you are someone who has lipedema and lymphedema, and you're going to be talking about your journey with it, your experiences with it. Thank you so much for doing that. I mean, it's, you are someone who is always willing to put yourself out there and share your journey because it helps people. But thank you for being part of this event.
Sure.
So Blanche, tell just a little bit, because people are going to find out more when they come to the event, but a little bit about yourself and what it's been like in this journey with lipedema and lymphedema.
Okay. I was born with lymphedema, and I didn't know that I had lipedema till much later on. I didn't figure that out till 2021, actually. And the lymphedema was diagnosed when I was 4, I guess, around 4 years old. Mm-hmm. My mom saw that she couldn't buckle my shoes the same when I was born, from when I was born. And a neighbor saw my legs when I was walking in the yard at 9 months and said, "What's wrong with that leg? It looks swollen," thinking that I had been stung by a bee. So that wasn't the case. And that started the journey of my mom trying to find out, what do I do for this child and to help this child, thrive and grow. And I eventually did thrive and grow. There's lots of events that happen in between, lots of different surgeries, but life was still happening all the way along. That's the important part, is life was still happening all the way along. And the journey for my sustenance, my search for sustenance, as what I'm going to be talking about at the event, is what I'll focus on, and how I got there, how I got to where I am now, and basically how other people can get to where they need to be. Everyone needs to be in a different place.
And your story is really a story of amazing resilience and experimentation and figuring, oh, that didn't work, but something else did. I mean, you just kind of seem to be able to bounce back from anything that life throws at you. And everybody can see right now you're using an oxygen cannula. Because of further lymphatic things that have been happening with your central lymphatics. And so now you need that support for breathing. But through that all of that, you continue to be super involved in our lipedema tribe community and doing all kinds of stuff, helping others, and never stopping with that. And besides being on this patient panel and sharing your story, another amazing thing that you're going to do at this event happening virtually April 12 to 14 is you're going to be what we call a heart guide. Can you tell everybody what that means to be a heart guide at our virtual event?
Yeah. So how I found keto, or what I like to call keto adjacent, because I'm not exactly keto, it's keto adjacent, was through one of our heart-to-hearts. I attended a heart-to-heart in 2020, and I started this journey in 2020 and into 2021. And that's when I found out that I had lipedema because of the way that I lost the weight. So when you have something that nobody knows about, like you talk about my journey being so resilient.
Mm-hmm.
I had lymphedema and I knew it.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew it for years and years and years. But there wasn't anything that they were doing. So I had to experiment to try to find what's the right thing for me, waiting for science to catch up to me. But then here comes Lipedema Simplified, and this looks very easy. So I was looking for nutrition for lymphedema.
Mm-hmm.
This is another lymphatic disease. I attended, not thinking that I had lipedema.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here you go. I have it. What? Wait a second. So this was what was important to me, was this kind of community, this kind of event, because you can attend events all over the place. I attended lots of events all of my life for lymphedema. And the best part of the event is going and seeing people when you're outside of the room and chit-chatting about what you just heard.
Right.
We love doing that kind of stuff.
Yes.
Break rooms and things like, we love that kind of stuff. Community, getting together with people that you don't have to explain.
Right.
I don't have to explain why am I wearing these. I don't have to explain that.
Right.
Because everybody there knows. So you can get right down to the nitty-gritty boogie down. Right? You can get right into it. And this is what we do at the event. And so the heart guides are there to help kind of facilitate those conversations, because it's very uncomfortable when you get into a room with a bunch of people that you don't know. And so it's the easy way for us to introduce ourselves, tell a bit about us, and say, here, let me hand it over to you if you'd like to talk. Who would like to be next? And then everybody gets a chance to chit-chat, and you start to find out. Like I started finding out, oh, wait a second, that's lipedema? Wait, I might have that. And that's how I found it out, was by seeing all of that. So when they asked me to be a heart guide, I was like, yep, I'm all in.
Yeah.
Because there were so many people that were, your trepidations, and including me. And I had been to all of these events. I'd done all of this stuff. Well, like you said, I'm resilient. I've done all of this stuff. But I was uncomfortable. So the heart guides are there to make you a little bit more comfortable.
Right.
Give you a little bit of encouragement, get the conversation started, and then let you go. And trust me, everybody gets going.
Yeah,
and it's the best way to do it.
This kind of highlights how different these events, and we've been doing it this way for the past couple of years, but how different they are from a typical conference or symposium where you just have speaker after speaker and you listen to them, and you might have a Q&A. But this one, it's really seen as a conversation, a discussion, being able to network with people, being able to network with the presenters, with all the other attendees, maybe with the sponsors. And so being part of that conversation, so it's not just sitting there and listening. And so we found that having heart guides like Blanche is going to help people, if they're not used to that kind of event, help them to be comfortable. And if they want to, I mean, you certainly don't have to, but if you want to, you can be part of these small breakouts and have a conversation, or you can go to a breakout and just listen. It's all up to you. But Blanche and the other heart guides there are there to help facilitate that. Gail, can we just pull up again the information on the event? Because this is going to be happening April 12, 13, and 14. It is, it's really focusing on nutrition. So this is for people with lipedema and lymphedema. It's Keto and Beyond, but customizing your plan to joyful nutrition. And Blanche, that's something that you have done early on, is because you call it keto adjacent. So you feel like you're not doing what people see as pure keto, but you found what works for you. You've made those adjustments that work for you and what's going on in your body. Can you describe just a little bit about how you did that?
I'm going to speak more about it on the day of the conference, but the main thing is you have to take from where you're at, right? When you know what you're doing. I had a lot of experience with a lot of nutritionists. I knew that I had everything else under control for my lymphedema. I was doing everything that I was supposed to do. I did my MLDs. I wear compression, right? You can see I wear compression. I do my exercise. I have everything under control. No one was talking about nutrition. No one was talking about nutrition. How do I get a good way of eating? If there's meal plans for diabetes, there's meal plans for heart, there's meal plans for everything. There wasn't a meal plan for lymphedema. There wasn't. So how do you do that? How do you find a good way to eat? You know, you listen to all of these people saying what they're saying. Best way to do it is just figure out what you've got to eat. How do I figure that out if nobody's telling me? I don't have anything to work it off of.
Right.
And I start hearing about keto. And I'm going, I don't know about this. So this is how you find out, is what are other people doing?
Right.
I read a lot of books about what are other people doing. What are doctors saying? You know, you're supposed to trust doctors and people that know things, you know, people that do research like yourself. Don't want to say, but one of the books that I read is yours. Yeah. No, I'm being honest. There's other books that I read that are not useful anymore because it's literally years of doing this. And give yourself grace. Find out what you need and then get there. You can get there. It's one step at a time. Everything that I did was one step at a time. And the first thing I got rid of was sugar.
Like I was saying before, is that you had to experiment and see, oh, okay, no, that actually made me feel nauseous. So I'm not going to do that.
Exactly.
That one made me swell. Not going to do that. Oh, this seemed to be pretty good. I have lots of energy. So, I mean, it's sometimes that it comes down to food by food, trying to figure that out. Yeah.
Right. First thing I got rid of was sugar. It's the first thing I got rid of.
Yeah. And I think you would think that would be a no-brainer for most people because, I mean, even people who are preferring to eat a very, very high carbohydrate diet understand that sugar is probably not good for you. That should be easy. And I think that's a great place to start. And from there, you build on it and you see, like Sherry says in the comments, trial and error. You know,
that's it. That's all it is, right?
Yeah. But sometimes you need help. And talk about, you know, what kind of supports that you've had. How did you, because you probably didn't do this all on your own.
No.
Did you have any help?
I've been in and out of nutritionists' offices all of my life.
Yeah.
My oldest child was diagnosed with diabetes when they were 2, and they are now 35. So I went to a nutritionist, you know, in and out of the nutritionist office every 3 months for 16 years of that kid's life. So I learned a lot from that. And then, you know, but that was for somebody else.
Right.
That wasn't for me.
Not for lymphedema, right?
That wasn't for me, and it wasn't for lymphedema. It was for diabetes.
Right.
You know, and then, you know, the only thing that they told you for lymphedema was salt. Don't eat a lot of salt. And now I've even changed my mind about that.
Yes.
Because it's not necessarily salts per se.
Right.
It is the kind of salts that you're eating and, you know, things like that. So this was the support. The most support came from going to nutritionists. So you think that they know what they're talking about until you say keto to them and they go, oh, no. Nobody likes keto. Nobody likes it. Wait, that's what they're telling me I need to do. Why not? They couldn't tell me why not.
Right.
But they were telling me not to.
Right.
And then, you know, so you have to take everything into consideration. You have to, this was what I did. I had to take everything into consideration. And I have to say that the final step was the event that I went to in 2020 with Lipedema Simplified. That's the main place where I found most of what I need. And it's not over. I'm not done.
Yeah, it's a lifelong journey. Yeah,
it's forever.
Yeah.
This is forever. So it's not a diet that you can go on because those have an end.
Mm-hmm.
They have a finite period of time.
Mm-hmm.
That's the main thing that I learned was, wait a second, this is not how, I'm not just going on a diet. I have to change the way that I eat, which means you got to change the way that you think, which
Right.
means that you have to learn, because you can't change the way you think until you learn
Right.
what you're doing that's not really correct.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you have to learn. How do you learn?
Mm-hmm.
You go and you find events like this. You
Mm-hmm.
read books. You talk to people
Mm-hmm.
that have had success,
Mm-hmm.
not people that went on a diet and it failed
Mm-hmm.
for whatever reasons. Although you want to know, why did it fail?
Yeah.
So that you don't make the same mistakes.
Learn from the failures as well as the successes. Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And so this event that we're having on April 12, 13, and 14, we're going to have, of course, a lot of speakers, but we're also going to have time for Q&A to ask questions of the speakers. And we're going to have small breakout rooms where you can talk. The attendees can be talking among themselves, and most likely speakers and sponsors and stuff might be in those rooms too. So you can have conversations with them. It's going to be just a wonderful virtual event. Doesn't matter where you are around the world. It is Eastern time. It's going to be happening, I think, the pre-event community stuff will start like at 10 a.m. Eastern, then it goes till about 5 or 6 p.m. Eastern. But the good news is that if you get a premium ticket to the event, you can have all the recordings as well as a lot of other special stuff. So consider that, because if this is, especially if this is in a bad time zone for you, you want those recordings so you can listen to them later at a time when you're traditionally awake instead of the middle of the night. And if it doesn't fit into you for Eastern time, also to avail yourself of some of those special, more intimate conversations with some special presenters. That's going to be something that's for the people who are premium. But otherwise, just a regular ticket gets you to this amazing 3-day virtual event that you can enjoy around the world. And I am just thrilled that after knowing you as long as I have, Blanche, and working with you on several great projects, you are going to be presenting at this event. You're going to be part of that patient panel. And of course, this is the second time I think you've been a heart guide. So you are an experienced veteran heart guide that's going to help those people, support all of our attendees to get the most they can out of attending this event.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Blanche. It's been wonderful chatting with you, and be sure everybody look at that link below, register for the event, and we hope to see you there. Thanks for being here. Bye, everybody.